Okay, so in lesson 6, we're gonna learn how we're gonna divide polynomials. Just like normal numbers, we can divide these things. Basically what we're doing is undoing foiling, where usually I would give you something that looks like this, and then we would use FOIL, first, outer, inner, last, to multiply together to get an end product. I'm giving you the end product right here, and we're taking one of those factors out of it and seeing what we're left with. That's the goal here. So I've been given a product, I'm dividing by a binomial to figure out what the other factor is. We're gonna jump down to number 3 and number 4 because they're slightly easier. And then we're gonna go back up to number 1 and number 2 and see how we do those. So here I have a polynomial, 3w cubed plus 7w squared minus 4w blah blah blah, divided by that w plus 3 binomial. I want to take this and I want to divide that by it. Okay? So there's a lot going on there. Here's how we do it. There's 2 ways: synthetic or traditional long division. I will not do traditional long division with you. I think it's too complicated to do, especially over a video. But if you're interested and synthetic division doesn't work for you, look for YouTube videos. Okay, they exist. So I'm going to teach you how to do synthetic division because I think it's easier, and it's easier to do via a video. Take what you have here. Take what you're dividing by, you're quoting. W plus 3. Take it and set it equal to 0. What we're going to do now is solve for the variable. Simple, subtract 3. W equals negative 3. This is going to be our special number, and as we do this problem, I'm going to put that negative 3 up here. And I'm going to kind of put it in like a little corner in a half box. Now for the rest of my problem, I'm going to take the coefficients of each of these terms and I'm going to write them out. So I have a 3 because here, a 7 from here, a negative 4 from there, you got to keep the sign, and then a 3 at the end. Okay. All right, now I'm going to follow a pattern. This pattern never changes. The first number drops down. So 3 just goes underneath and becomes a 3. Now, I'm going to take this number down here and I'm going to multiply it by my special number up here. 3 by negative 3 makes negative 9. It's going to go there. Now I'm going to add down. 7 minus 9, negative 2. We repeat. Multiply up, add down. So multiply up. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. Add down. Multiply up. Add down. Okay. So believe it or not, this is my answer. I just need to like fluff it up a little bit. Think about what we did at the beginning. We're dividing this whole thing by this, which means I'm trying to take this out of this. So I'm taking a 3 and a w, but more importantly, I'm taking a w out of this. So the degree of this polynomial, the highest exponent that's in it, is 3, has a degree of 3. I need to take one of those w's away. So if I started with 3 w's, I'm going to begin here with 2, and then 1, and then none, right? I should run out here. This column represents something very special. In elementary school, when you divided things, right? You might have done 38 divided by 3, and you would go, okay, 3 goes into 3 one time, and then you go 1 times 3 minus 0, and then you take the other thing and be 3 goes into 8 twice, and then you'd be 2 times 3 is 6, take it away, 2, and then you'd be like 3 doesn't go into that. So you say you would have a 12 and a remainder of 2 is how you used to do math in elementary school. Well, this last column is your remainder column. So your final answer is 3w squared minus 2w plus 2. Okay. I knew that was a minus. That had to be a plus because it wasn't a minus. And then this last column, that's your remainder. But instead of saying remainder 3 like we would here, in algebra we write that that remainder is just still being divided by whatever this is. So that is the answer. You have this trinomial with the remainder, the last column is always the remainder, and the remainder is being divided by whatever you were trying to divide by in the first place. Let's take a look at number 4. Don't be fooled by this being raised to a -1. It's just another way to say I'm dividing by that. So our special number, x plus 2, x to -2. Okay. I'm going to take my coefficients all the way down. There's a 1 here, -3. Ooh. Okay, this one almost tripped me up. I see a 4, I see a 3, and then I jump to a 1 exponent there, not 2. I need to have a placeholder for the 2. I have 0 x squareds. And now I have 5, -6. That's a trip you up point. Okay, that's where I'll lose you. But now we follow the same pattern. Drop the first thing down. Multiply up, add down. -2 by -2 makes +4. Add down, 1. Multiply up, add down. Multiply up, add down, and multiply up, add down. Okay. So if I started with 4 x's, I should have 3, and then 2, and then 1, none, and my final column is a remainder column. So my final answer is -2x cubed plus 1x squared minus 2x plus 9, with the remainder of -24 being divided by whatever we started with. I think it was x plus 2. Okay. Let's take a look at the ones we skipped. All right. Now, let's see. A minus 4 equals 0. A equals 4. That's my special number. And now, because the last one tried to trip us up with that placeholder, we now know what to look for with this one too. What is the coefficient for my a cubed, but where's my a squared? I don't have any of them. I need to put a placeholder. Where's my a to the first? I don't have any of them. But then there's my -64. So what this represents, this is the a cubed. This is the amount of a squareds I have, a1s, and then no a's, right? That's what these columns represent. I'm going to set this up just like the other ones. I'm going to drop the first thing down. Multiply up, add down, don't be tripped up, 0 plus 4 is still 4. Multiply up, add down, multiply up, add down, 0. I have no remainder here, which tells me this divides into this cleanly. Okay, so I had 3 a's to begin with, a2, a1, a none, no remainder. How I write this answer is a squared plus 4a plus 16. And if you take this answer and multiply it by this right here, you would get back to that. Okay, you can check that answer. Let's do one more. Let's do 2. Okay. For special number, b plus 3 equals 0, so b equals -3. Put it in a box. Get your coefficients. I see 1b cubed. I don't see any squareds. I don't see any to the power of 1. And then 27. So again, this column represents b cubes, b squareds, b to the 1, and then no b. Drop it down. 1, -3, right? Multiply up, add down, multiply up, add down, multiply up, another 0. Okay, so this one goes in cleanly as well. I have b squared b1, b none. So 1b squared minus 3b plus 9 with no remainder is my answer. Let's see, are there any tricky ones other than that? Anything more complicated we should get to? Number 5. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this a little bit. All right, my special number here, 3t plus, I'm gonna write that better. Equals 0, okay. We're still gonna start at the same. It's gonna turn weird. Minus 1. Divide 3. So I have a weird negative fraction. Doesn't matter. Okay. Don't be scared of fractions. I'm gonna take my coefficients. I'm gonna check for placeholders maybe, see if I have anything I'm missing. 3, 2, 1, none. Okay, so I'm gonna have no placeholder zeros. I see a 6, a 5, a -2, and a 1. All right. First number drops down. The pattern stays. It's a fraction, it's negative, it doesn't matter. The pattern stays. Multiply up. 1/3 of 6. If I cut 6 into 3 different piles, it's going to be 2. But a negative times a positive makes negative. Add down. Multiply up. 1/3 of 3 is 1. Negative times positive makes negative. Add down. 1/3 of 3 is 1. Negative by negative makes positive. Add down. So, I started with 3 t's. I have 2, I have 1, I have none, and then here's my remainder column. So here's the deal. That was tricky enough because I had a fraction, but there's one more thing we need to do, and this is only when we have a fraction like this in our special area. We need to take the denominator, in this case it's a 3, and we need to divide each of these terms by that denominator. Your remainder does not matter. Your remainder is on an island. Okay, so this column is special. This is not affected. And here in this problem we see it nicely, because 3 will go into 6, 3 will go into 3, and -3, but 3 won't go into 2. Okay, that's by design. It shouldn't. Don't try to. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to divide it by 3. 2t squared. I'm going to take this, I'm going to divide it by the denominator. Plus 1t. I'm going to take this divided by minus 1. And then that remainder of 2, that's still divided by whatever we had. Okay, and that is the answer. So when you have a fraction, things get trickier. Okay, just don't forget this final step. It's gross enough that you multiplied by a fraction to get these in the first place, but go back in and then divide by your denominator. Okay. I think that is it.